This is the coolest cocktail menu I've ever seen. Hand bound, nice cover on it. Has a ribbon bookmarker. I've been to a lot of bars, a lot of lonely nights. I've been to a lot of bars. I've been to a lot of lounges, I've been to some clubs, I've been to a lot of steakhouses. Been all around the world. London, Paris, Shanghai, you name it. This is the coolest cocktail menu I've ever seen. By looking at it, you wouldn't know where it came from since there's no name on it. You know you've arrived. We don't have to put your name on your brand. Right? Nike commercial, it doesn't say Nike, just a swoosh. Snapchat billboard, doesn't say Snapchat, just that goes. Marketing 101, if you want to be cool, keep your logo small and don't say your name. And never ever say you're premium. If you have to say premium, you're not premium. But that's a side note. All right, where can you find the best cocktail menu? And let me clarify, the best cocktail menu is not the actual cocktail list, although they're phenomenal on here. It's the actual menu, how it's made, the content, how it is relayed, the overall aesthetic, the overall experience you get to pick up the menu going through it, how creative it is. It's the best I've ever seen. Where can you go to get it? Well, it's the home of 10,000 Lakes, and it is the home of the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Minnesota Twins. It is the home of the Minnesota Vikings, Mall of America, the Iron Range. You go into Minnesota, you go to Minneapolis. You go to Constantine. So what makes this menu so cool? Well, it feels like it's a relic. It feels like this thing belongs to the Vatican. This thing is hand bound, there's a ribbon in it, there's a ribbon bookmarker. It's creative and diverse. Great marketing, simplistic but cool. It starts out with some staff creations. A selection of seasonally inspired originals only found inside these walls. So you know when you go in there, you're gonna get something original, something authentic, and something that was created inside that establishment. You won't find these drinks anywhere else. That is cool. You can take a look at the meters that they give you. Boozy to light, bitter to sweet, savory to refreshing. They give you the name, which is really cool. They give you all the ingredients, and then they give you the type of glass it comes in. If you want to know the type of glass, whether it's on the rocks or up, it's going to tell you. It's going to tell you. So again, it has the meters, and each meter is different. So you can tell that it is specific to the drink. It isn't just snake oil. It isn't just wolf tickets. They actually put time into this. So as you can see, for the gram, is light, semi-sweet, and refreshing. And then local with the heater is boozy, bitter, and savory. You can see that right there. I had a few drinks on here. I had one and I literally couldn't stop having more of them. Well, I don't want to put it that way, I don't want to sound alcoholic. I was there before dinner and I had like 3 or 4 drinks, and I believe that 3 or 4 of them were the Candy Gun. And the Candy Gun is 5 Island rum, overproof Jamaican rum, banana liqueur, pistachio, egg white, lime, and an Angostura seltzer. It was phenomenal. It was one of the best drinks I had all year. You know, I would have thought that I was in Cancun or in Bora Bora. The Candy Gun is phenomenal. I'm a sucker for a few things. I'm a sucker for a nice pint of nitro beer. I'm a sucker for small oysters. I'm a sucker for rooftop and revolving bars. And I'm a sucker for an egg white drink. You give me a drink with egg white in it, it's going down the hatch. It's happening. So, if I had to go back and do it again and go to Constantine, and Constantine, by the way, is one of the coolest hotels in all of Minneapolis. It's called Hotel Ivy. It's a luxury collection hotel, which means it's pretty much Sheraton's, who was bought by Marriott. It's Sheraton's version, kind of the Ritz-Carlton. In order to go to Constantine, you got to go to Hotel Ivy. It's in the basement. It's dark. It's cool. It's like darker than the movie theater. It is too cool for even light. I tried to turn on my flashlight and take some pictures and do a review, and it was impossible. I would have made a complete fool of myself. Not because I would have been socially awkward, and not because I have a problem with attention. Literally, it's so dark, it'd be like turning a light on at the movie theater. Everybody would look. It is so dark in there. It's really cool though. It's one of the coolest bars. Certainly one of the coolest places in Minneapolis, if not one of the coolest cocktail places you can go to, period. They were nice enough to let me borrow one of these. And as I go through here, on the first page, if I had to do one, I would have done the St. James Infirmary. My name is James. It seems serendipitous. It has the Jamaican rum, applejack, allspice, cinnamon, nutmeg, clarified milk, grapefruit, ginger tea, and lemon. It is light, semi-sweet, and refreshing. It would have been a great Christmas drink. I was there for Christmas, by the way. Moving on to the next page, the candy gun was phenomenal. I had like 3 of them. And that's a pretty dense drink. It's pretty rich. You got the rum, you got 2 types of rum. You have a banana liqueur, you have a pistachio, you have egg white, and you have some seltzer. That's a pretty filling drink. They went down like I was in a desert and needed water. They were phenomenal. You get on to the next page, you have some house classics. You know, it's your more prototypical drinks. And apparently if there is a creation on the first menu, because the first couple pages are seasonal inspired drinks. It's rotating and revolving. And then on the next page it says, house classics. Sometimes drinks are in demand so much we keep them around. So apparently these are drinks that were once popular and are now a mainstay. And if I had to get one of these, I thought a really funny one was the lumber sectional. I don't know if that's like a metrosexual. I don't know if that's a Minnesota metrosexual or if I'm missing something, but I found the name to be very, very clever. I find that one very funny. And self-control number 2. I don't know what happened to self-control number 1, but self-control number 2 looks delicious as well. I'm not a fan of really, really boozy tasting drinks. Some people say, you know, here's a whiskey, it tastes so good. I'm like, Diet Coke, orange juice, Powerade, that tastes good. Like 100 proof vodka to me does not taste good. So for me, I will take shots and then I will do cocktails, but I don't like that overwhelming boozy feeling. I like my alcohol to be blended a little bit where I don't taste it so much. I don't have a problem with a finish or a flavor of some alcohol. I don't want the thing to be like gasoline. I don't want to get high off just the fumes alone. I need my cocktails to be blended a little bit. Moving on to the food. Great mix of food for a bar. Of course, it's connected to Hotel Ivy, so they're going to probably piggyback and carry off of that kitchen. But phenomenal food. Oysters. I was going to order oysters, but they were medium ones. I only do the small ones, but they had medium oysters at the time. It looks to be a revolving menu. They look to rotate oysters in and out. They had tater barrels. Not to be confused with tater tot. These are tater barrels. Served with cheese sauce. Amazing touch. They had a cheeseburger and a double cheeseburger. Gotta appreciate that. Not too many places would offer both at a bar, but they do. You get a little bit of Maine on the lobster roll. You get a hot dog. It's very Minnesota. A seared tuna sandwich. The outlier on this thing, and I'm a huge foie gras guy, but I was on my way to Manny's for dinner. They have a foie gras here, a whole foie gras. And I've been to Paris before where a whole foie gras is fat. It's like a Spam tin. Like the foie gras comes out like in a brick. In Paris it's much cheaper because foie gras is like milk over there. But here it's $250. I'm a foie gras fan. I know there's some ethics involved with that, but I really don't get into it. It's not banned in California anymore. For $250 with pancakes and maple syrup, next time I'm in. I'm gonna do it for dinner. They had a cheese plate, charcuterie plate, olives, almonds, sorbet, and gelato, and then they had a Pop-Tart. And right at the bottom it said Pop-Tart, not from a box. So homemade Pop-Tart, I think that's pretty cool. But a really, really great, eclectic, diverse menu. Awesome bar menu. Beers, they had like 7 beers, and you can tell that there are a few craft beers. There's a domestic, there's an import, and then there's a few wacky ones. The thing I noticed about they have some wines by the glass, all different blends, all different grapes, Pinot Noir, a Cab, a Grigio, a Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Prosecco, etc. They have one of each and only have one selection per glass, so you can tell that it's a cocktail place. But the first thing that stuck out and jumped out at me was the Pinot Noir was a French wine. It is a French wine, but typically American places will have more American versions of that. They'll typically have an Oregon one or a Californian one. Very rarely will you go to an American bar and see the only offering of French Pinot Noir. It screams class and it screams cool. Very, very well done. Probably the coolest thing on the menu if you're a wine person is see the only glass of Pinot Noir to be a French one. Very well done. Very, very, very impressive. Happy hour. This is pretty cool. It's not your typical happy hour. They give you a list. The thing I found funny was a beer and a bump. I don't know if that's a beer and a shot or whatever. Sometimes I have to tell me what a beer and a bump is. I know what a beer and a bump is in Los Angeles. I don't know what a beer and a bump is in Minneapolis. Someone's going to have to comment below and let me know what that is. Is it about the caviar? I've been to Chicago before at some nice places where the chefs will bring you back and they'll do a bump and it's caviar. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but someone's gonna have to let me know what it is at Constantine or what it is in Minneapolis. Someone comment below. But yeah, it's 1 for 5, 2 for 9, or 3 for 13. Another really cool thing is that they use the menu to promote some of their events. The coolest event that I saw on here was Babe Tender, support the women of our industry. Babe Tender every third Sunday. Every third Sunday they have a Babe Tender. I thought that was pretty clever marketing. Support the women of our industry. They're using Babe as an empowerment thing, and I think that's pretty cool. They have a DJ every Friday and Saturday from 9:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. So I was there over Christmas pre-dinner. It wasn't a weekend and it wasn't late at night. It was like 6 o'clock. So I didn't have a time to see the DJ there. I can only speculate as to what type of place it would be with the DJ. It was really, really, really cool and really, really classy without the DJ. I bet a DJ in there could really make the place lively, and it could probably change the dynamic a little bit too. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'd like to experience what that's like. Places we imbibed, I thought this was really cool. They're kind of giving you a list of some of the places that they think is cool. So as if the cocktail menu wasn't cool enough and as if the bar wasn't cool enough, they're gonna tell you some other places they think is cool. And if you think they're cool, then you're probably gonna like these places as well. I've been to some of these places before. The Hewing Hotel may be the coolest hotel in Minneapolis. Might not be the most luxurious, but it is probably the coolest hotel in Minneapolis. Hewing Hotel is on here, and the Hewing Hotel has nothing to do with Hotel Ivy. Hotel Ivy is owned by Marriott. Hewing Hotels is an independent. And for Constantine to recommend a competing property or a property that isn't of direct association is really cool. And they're right on the money. From being at Constantine and from being at Hewing Hotel, I can tell that they have great taste. Definitely an awesome place. Spoon and Stable, great restaurant. And there's some other great places on here. I haven't been to all of them. I'd like to check them out. Industry hangouts. So if you're in the industry and you want to know where people are going, if you're new to the industry or you're looking for different nights on different weeks, they have industry hangouts on here. And then they have some sister locations. Borough, Manila, Parlor, St. Paul, Mercado, and PS State. I haven't been to any of those. But very cool to recommend some of their places. If you fall in love with Constantine, you're probably going to fall in love with these places. That's what I would assume. They're all owned by the Jester Group. So part of the Jester Concepts restaurant group. And lastly, something very creative was a cocktail log. And this cocktail log basically gives a social aspect that evolves outside of the bar. So you'll see, you put your name, you put the cocktail you had, you put the date, and then you give your social. You give your social handle. Name, cocktail, date, social handle. So this person had a St. James on 12/16, and they leave room for it. So these things can continue to grow. And I think that's one of the coolest concepts ever. It gives a bit of history. It makes this cocktail menu very eclectic. It makes it personal, and it makes it historic. The person who made this menu is a genius. I would say they got straight A's in marketing classes, but they might even be too smart to even go to college. They might have just went right on to the big leagues. Whoever made this menu is super cool. Definitely the coolest person in high school by far. So Jester, your marketing person, is phenomenal. Give that person a raise. From a consumer standpoint, you are one of the most creative people I've come across in the food and beverage. I do menus. I probably do a few hundred menus a year. And for me to request one of these and to do a review on it, it really stood out, and it does. This thing is a piece of art. This thing is phenomenally done. I can't rave enough about it. By far the coolest cocktail menu I've ever seen in terms of the craft. Phenomenal marketing, and I can't wait to see what version number 3 looks like. I'm definitely going to be back.